Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. A little bit later than normal, but I think that's all good. Home of the Rhodri Giggs on football show. We are talking the World Cup so far this evening, but just as we wait for the latecomers to join us and whatnot, we'll give a little Super Six update. David Walker won the first round of the World Cup with 14 points. Jason Davis came a close second, only missing out on the top spot due to his golden goal prediction. But the important battle, Rhodri sent in a piffling 6 points this week, while I scored a magnificent, a whopping, a huge, ginormous, unbelievable 7 points, which means that I closed the gap to 6. The next round is 7 o'clock Friday evening when England kick off. So we'll see how we go. We'll give our predictions later on about that as well, I think. Why the devil not? But as usual, I am joined by the man himself, ex-Salford City, FC United winger, Mr. Rhodri Giggs.
Bangor City. You got to throw
Bangor City.
As well. You got to go with Bangor City. League of Wales shout, haven't you?
Come on, Bangor. How are you, my friend?
And Aberystwyth.
Aberystwyth. Wow.
What a trek that was. Oh, my God.
I was going to say, that's a bit of a journey, mate.
Oh,
that is.
My God. That is a Tuesday night trek there. Oh, and you're getting home for like 4 bells, 3 bells. Not good.
So welcome to everyone in the chat. Say hello. It's lots of people joining. That's what I like to see. Across the platforms. Yeah, we're going to talk a bit of everything. The World Cup so far. Just off the World Cup, because I do want to keep it mainly World Cup. We've got to talk about... Oh, look at him. Avoiding the subject straight away. We're going to talk quickly about Ronaldo. Obviously, we talked about the interview last week. He's been sacked. The GOAT has been sacked by Manchester United, which is very interesting. So we'll touch on it quickly, mate, before we focus solely on the World Cup. We talked about his interview. He's disappeared again. He's doing it on purpose.
Go on, man.
Avoiding the subject. No, he did the interview. He said some stuff. We talked about a lot of it last week, but like in terms of the outcome, I think this is what he wanted. Probably once he slagged off, once he said he had no respect for Ten Hag, there was no coming back. So I think it was only going to go this way. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it was only going to go one way once he'd done that interview, and all parties are pretty happy with it, I suppose. He gets his to get away, and Ten Hag doesn't have a problem anymore.
No, and I think the other thing it'll do is force United to buy a striker in this summer, in January, or they might go for like a loan deal till the end of the year.
I don't think you need to panic buy. You need to get the right person. If it's not the right person, then you just hold out. This is not a sprint. You've done this before. If there's the right fit and there's the right person available, then yes, then let's go for it. But no, I won't be going for people like Mbappe.
Yeah, well, mate, on that subject, first of all, on the January thing, one thing I think United have done quite well over the years, going back to Fergie, is when they have had to get a striker in January, they've got loan signings in till the end of the season. Your Henrik Larssons, even Ighalo did a job last year off the bench, got a couple of goals. You don't need to just sign for the sake of it. They were linked with that Gakpo from the Dutch league in the summer, so he is probably one option. But I think they actually need an out number 9 rather than another wide player who can do a bit through the middle. So I don't know, but ultimately, mate, the news which swiftly followed the news of him being sacked was that the Glazers are looking like they're selling. Few reputable sort of journalists and people have said that it's true, and they could be on their bike. So actually, United could have some money to spend come the summer, depending on who takes over. But I mean, you mentioned that Mbappe. Obviously, the main thing, if they want to get him, looks like he's leaving PSG, is they'd have to get in the Champions League first and foremost. That's got to be the be all and end all, haven't it?
Yeah. We'll just have to see what happens. Now, these ones they very rarely come off in January. You can name, and I can name a few, but not a lot. So just have to wait and see.
Next question on that: where do you see Ronaldo going? Because Newcastle ruled themselves out, Chelsea have ruled themselves out.
I don't see him. I don't see him staying in England, or possibly no. I don't see him staying in England because the only place he could probably go to is Arsenal. They can't afford him. Chelsea, don't think he's going to go there. And Newcastle said they're out. Sporting Lisbon, an Italian team, Napoli, but
Saudis.
But I think he wants to play, higher football. So
what about the MLS?
Even MLS, I think he still wants to play Champions League football. He's still got 1 or 2 years, I reckon, he thinks in him. And see what happens. But Sporting Lisbon, but you're gonna have to take a massive wage cut. And do they want him? Does he fit into there?
Do you reckon his attitude and behaviour this year will have turned some people off? Like a Newcastle, for instance, who've got the money, but would he be detrimental to their team spirit?
60 million quid on the strikers. It'd be pretty daft to bring Ronaldo in now.
But it's still Ronaldo, isn't it? And I mean,
I know, yeah, but it just causes more issues. Why would they want to rock the boat? They're flying Newcastle.
Yeah, I agree. I do think,
as we've seen, he could rock the boat.
I wouldn't be. Do you know? I actually, what I think is an outside chance is that he goes back to Madrid as
Yeah, he could do,
and he'll end up as the manager like in a year or two. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Could do, yeah.
He loves it. Let's move on to the World Cup because there's loads to talk about from the World Cup. Let's start with the Wales-England group. Not so much their matches tomorrow. We'll talk about them towards the end. But what did you make of the initial performances from England and Wales?
Sorry, I mean a donut.
You're right, man.
England, very, very good. Like Brazil tonight, strength in depth, really good off the bench. And that's what you need in a World Cup because it's long, it's grueling, games every 4 days. So you're always going to pick up injuries. And if you can fit that place with the same amount of quality, then, it's a win-win. You're looking at Brazil there. They've brought Rafinha off, Neymar off, Richarlison off, the kid from West Ham, and then they brought Fred, Anthony, Rodrigo, and Jesus on.
Yeah, it's mental, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. But then England, they can take Saka off, bring Rashford on, bring Foden off, or Mount off, and put Grealish or Foden there. The only issue they've got is if Kane gets injured. Centre half, I think they can cover. Left back, right back, I think they can cover because Kieran Trippier is excellent at both. And they've got Luke Shaw. Right back, they've got Trent and obviously Kyle Walker. So covered in that area. Centre half, Dyer. He can get you through a few games. And obviously Maguire's looked like he does when he plays for England. He's very, very good with Stones. But, it's Iran. But they still scored 2 goals. So they'll probably be a little bit peed off with that. But all in all, really good game. Wales, he's obviously made a mistake playing James, or James has played poorly.
I actually think it was the tactics of. I thought the formation was right, but James played too deep. Like they needed him on the last man, and him and Bale played so deep.
He played to his strengths, and he didn't. So, but did they play deep enough to stop that running in behind? Possibly. But you still got a professional football. You still got to be able to have a touch and get hold of the ball. Yeah. One touch, get hold of it, pass it on. Basic stuff that you learn as a schoolboy. Yes, there's someone up your ass, but you're going to have to expect that. You're playing the World Cup, good players, so you have to be able to withhold that, but or withstand that, and he couldn't do it. Kiefer Moore, come on, just bullied him, just absolute. But they won't see a player like that in the MLS or possibly even the Bundesliga. It's most of them playing.
Yeah,
I
think it's fair. I thought
so Wales very good. Deserved it to get a point. Could have even gone on and won it in the end, but Ramsey looked poor, Bale looked poor, but they still turn up, and you still need them on the pitch because they are big time players. But it just showed a bit of lack of game time for me, and is that creeping in now? Father Time, it's unbeaten. Maybe they could have done it 5, 6, 2 years ago, but now with not playing and then going straight into a World Cup, it might take a couple of games to get into it, but then the World Cup will be over. But hopefully it just takes them a game with their experience. Obviously Gareth Bale will step up the big moments. We've seen that time and time again. But
even Ramsey,
we need
though,
to take
Ramsey
it to,
set up the penalty, didn't he?
Iran. We need to really take it to Iran tomorrow. Really on the front foot, go right at them. We're expected to win. The pressure's on us. We should win, and they expect us to win. But it'll still be tough.
Interesting what Carlos Queiroz has been saying, and obviously Iran don't concede a lot of goals. So obviously England, the England game aside, they think they've kept like 8 or 9 clean sheets in their last 10 or 11 games. Like they're defensively pretty good, but they will see us as a team they can beat. And then if they can beat the US, they go through. So I think they will set up differently to how they set up as against England. They will set up more attacking. So it could be an interesting game.
Well, if you set them up more attacking, that'll leave more space
suits
for
us. Yeah, suits us.
I think that'll suit us because we've got better players than them.
Yeah, and it'll come. I think that second place in that group could come down to goal difference for the second place because England have got so much depth that they could play their second string and still beat USA.
Yeah.
And I stand by what I said the other day. Like I still think USA will be so up for the England game that they might pinch a draw or something like that, and then suddenly there's a bit of pressure on England if Wales beat Iran quite comfortably, then there is pressure on then. But honestly, I think England will have too much for the US.
England will win comfortably tomorrow.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think Wales have got to make sure
they've got good energy, good quality in sprinkles, but I just think it's a World Cup too soon for them because there's a lot of young players there, young, good, exciting players, but not much quality.
Yeah, I thought the US actually defensively was where they looked really as if they were there for the taking. And I thought Wales missed the trick a little bit because I thought every time we actually got at them in the second half, they didn't look as composed and as strong as they had in the first half. I think we made them look good. And look, the US played very well in the first half, but I also think the way Wales set up helped the US.
Do you think they blew a gasket in the second half? Because they did put a lot of energy into that first half, didn't they?
Yeah, maybe. They covered a lot of ground. Wales, played so deep in that first half that the US had to, keep moving the ball around to try and break us down.
You've got to think about this Iran team as well. They're not conceded in 7 or 8 goals. Excuse me. Not conceding 7 or 8 goals, but there's turmoil back home. They're not all going to be on the same page in that team, so it might not all be singing from the same hymn sheet. So that to concede 6 goals when you're supposed to be a solid. They looked all over the place. Yeah,
they had their reserve keepers obviously in as well because the guy got a concussion early on.
And it could just stands in the goal.
It could come down to who scores the most versus the Iran. You've got to win the game first and foremost, but it could come down to who does better.
Same against when you play against England, though. You got to keep that score down.
Yeah, exactly that. Like if England beat the US comfortably,
beating Iran 4-0 and getting beat 5-1 off England.
Yeah, and I mean, you're hoping if Wales can beat Iran and then the Iran can take a draw or some points off the US, obviously takes the pressure off. If England beat the US comfortably, do they rest Kane? Do they rest players against Wales? There's all ifs and buts. I thought the most important thing from a Welsh point of view was not to lose. Yeah, and I thought
the good thing is when they play us. If we win this next game, they're through. They'll you'll pretty certain rest Harry Kane. And that's a good thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if Harry Kane plays if they're through. But we will see.
He might want that golden boot. But this is where Gareth Southgate's got to be a good manager.
Yeah, he's got to manage there. Interesting. Gaz says he wants Harry Maguire out of that starting lineup. Interesting that is, because he hasn't really let England down. Were the goals were they his fault? I can't remember.
No, Harry Maguire had a really good game.
He should have had a penalty actually in the first minute or two.
Yeah,
off a corner. He was like a rugby tackle.
You see the one yesterday or the day before. Can't remember which one it was with the give, but where he dragged him down.
How do you feel about all this like 10 minutes extra at the end of games? I think it's fantastic. I do.
Yeah.
Because the US tried to waste.
You just know if your time waste, it's getting put on.
Well, look in that US game, like the US players were going down for cramp, and they were trying to run that clock down.
I think it's brilliant because the people are, we'll see who's the fittest, and if your time wastes, then it might come back to biting the arse. Right?
It shows how much game time we as viewers and fans miss because of time wasting. Like you miss 10 minutes a game, like
man,
I don't know. But
it's not just one game; it's almost every game. Yeah. Even at half time, you're getting like 5 or 6 minutes. You're like, oh, sweet.
We missed like you mentioned, Harry. Aaron Ramsey didn't look, with it. He just looked unfit. But actually, his quick thinking led to the penalty where I think it was a quick throw in or a quick corner. He turned inside. Still got that speed.
Still got that quality and experience, but the quality in them key areas, they're vital. And we've seen it time and time again, seen them deliver. But, hopefully the performance gets better because we'll need them. But, they won't be happy with their performance. But, again, one of them stepped up and got us out of the mile.
Indeed, mate. So, I think the best performance of the tournament so far has got to be Spain. I thought were absolutely outstanding. Look, it was a game they were expected to win.
What about Gary Neville at the start? The Spain team comes up and he goes, I don't see goals in this team. Where's the goals going to come from?
Oh, Gary. But I thought some of the football they played was just ridiculous, and it was the finishing, everything came together. Got quite a young side, mate. But they're deep. They're deep with youngsters, and I just think, there's two in there that I thought were particularly good. Gavi and Pedri, I thought were just beautiful, just proper beautiful football. And to me, for a performance after the first games, I thought Holland did pretty well. But then I thought, when you look at it, Brazil and England's depth gives them advantage over everyone, I think, because they can field 2 11s capable of beating most teams. And I think not every team can do that. Like England can pretty much field a second 11, will beat most teams. Same with Brazil. Spain have got the youth. Holland,
you're missing out France here. France looked decent as well.
Yeah, France. I thought Holland looked like a team who've played a couple of tournaments together now and are starting to come together. I missed the Portugal game, so I didn't really see that. There was 3-2, was it?
Yeah, it looked very good. So,
what about Messi, the GOAT, as some people would call him?
Well, it wasn't that this week, was it?
No.
He was at fault for the goal. Probably 45 minutes out of the 90 minutes, you'll see him walking.
Do you think he's a sulker? I know Ronaldo gets labelled as a sulker.
That's the way he's always been. But in certain teams you can get away with it. But this Argentinian team, I think, with even myself, I looked at it and thought, "Oh, this has got a chance." But they were poor, really poor.
Didn't play Martinez, did they? That's why.
No, really, really poor.
I tell you who was poor as well was Germany in the second half. Absolutely took their foot off the gas. But I forgot that in the last tournament, they went out bottom of the group.
Yeah.
So they are not in, like,
and
they're not the Germany of, they're not the Germany of old. No. Being,
you wouldn't see a Germany side get beat back with a one ball like that over the top.
No. But they have got an experienced team with, good footballers in who play top level football.
They'll need it because
so you wouldn't be surprised to see them grind out a 1-0 win over Spain, just because that's the type of thing they would do. But I just don't think this is the same type of German team that we've seen, 10 years ago, where they just turn up at these tournaments and they are just ready to go. Like, look, I think people disrespect Japan a little bit. I think Japan are much better than what people give them credit for. They've got some really good footballers who play Champions League football, play top-level football. It's not like the Japan of, 15, 20 years ago. These are proper professional footballers, but Germany should be beating them, and they just didn't turn up, mate. And I don't know whether the penalty in the first half maybe just gave them a bit of a false sense of security, or maybe Japan just came out flying. But who do you think's been the poorest side so far that you've seen? I thought Qatar were pretty bad.
Yeah, Qatar were poor. Qatar were really poor.
What was the game? What was the game yesterday?
Costa Rica as well. They were poor.
Yeah, they were very, very poor. What was the game yesterday?
They were jogging about. They weren't even running.
What was it yesterday? Oh, it's going to bug me. I don't know what it was. Can't remember what it was. But I thought, like, Uruguay missed a trick by drawing with South Korea today, because that's quite a tough group. Because Ghana, they lost today, but they scored 2 goals. They won't be easy to beat.
I think Portugal and Ghana will go through that group. Ghana look pretty decent.
Yeah,
scored 2 goals against Portugal as well. No, on the last 2 or 3 minutes, Portugal 3-2 up. If you see it, if you watch the highlights later, so the 3-2 up. The keeper's got the ball, and he goes like that, throws the ball down, and there's a guy in the net.
No,
he comes out, kicks the ball, but he slips.
He missed it.
He slipped and missed it, and then they kicked it away. But he nicked it off the keeper. He come out from behind him, nicked it off the keeper. Ronaldo's that on the bench. No. But he missed it, and they nicked it away.
So they could have got a draw.
They should have got the draw, because he nicked it away. All he's got to do is just like another touch or kick it around him. It's a goal, but he slipped. Or they nicked it away, but he did take it off the keeper. Yeah. But then I'm sure he slipped.
So on Monday, Ghana play South Korea before Portugal play Uruguay.
Well, that'll be a good game.
So if Ghana pick up 3 points there, their pressure's going to be on Uruguay.
I don't know, South Korea, no mugs either, so
no.
Big game that.
But what I mean is, if South Korea win, if one of those teams would win, the pressure on Uruguay to beat Portugal will be insane, because they cannot draw then. No. So that's going to be fascinating. I thought Switzerland had a really good result against Cameroon, because Cameroon would be very difficult to beat. So to get a win rather than a draw in the opening game, it really puts them in a good position. What did you make of Serbia tonight? As expected, like structured and quite well organised, but
but just come against a better team on the night, a far superior team with better quality, and then when they bring them, like the players that were mentioned on, with 15, 20, 25 minutes to go, with that extra energy, it's just hard work. And
did they play
them second half?
Did that Vlahovic start on the bench for Serbia?
Pass.
Because he's like supposed to be the hot striker in one of the hot strikers in Europe.
Sure, Mitrovic started and all that.
Yeah, he probably was then. Canada missed out on an opportunity by missing that penalty, didn't they?
Yeah, but it looks like they had a few opportunities as well. Lots of shots on goal. So shooting practice today.
Belgium don't look still don't look like.
No,
like
I've never been a fan of them. I've seen them a lot. We've obviously played.
They've got all these amazing players, mate, but they just don't seem a team.
Yeah, no, not for me. They don't cut it. They don't cut it where it matters. They've got Lukaku, whatever his name, who scored yesterday. Yes, they've got Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard, but it's not enough.
De Bruyne doesn't look the same player for Belgium that he is for Man City.
He's not going to.
No, but even like
Messi's not the same player for Barcelona. He's for Argentina. Or the other way around. Sorry.
But then, even Hazard has barely kicked the football for 2 years, and then
he's just been in Madrid eating paella, hasn't
he? Yeah, but he just looks unfit. He's similar to Ramsey. He just looks like he hasn't played.
It's going to happen if you don't play games. You have to play games. This is the World Cup. It's the best of the best.
And that the heat as well seems to be causing players to get a lot of cramp and stuff.
Yeah.
So what's in that Germany group? Spain obviously got that goal difference as well of a cushion at 7. Japan sitting in second with 3 points now as well. It's going to be difficult for Germany, mate, because they play Spain next.
I don't expect them. I expect them to go out now. That's it for them. I don't see them qualifying. I think Spain will beat them.
Even if they get a draw versus Spain, they still
I don't see them coming out of that group.
If Japan draw with Costa Rica, draw or better against Costa Rica on Sunday morning,
Japan are going to beat Costa Rica, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Costa Rica are poor, mate. They're a poor team.
So that takes Japan to 6, and then if Germany draw with Spain,
they're like the side of the Super 6. They're poor.
Well, there you are. If Japan win and Germany and Spain draw, Germany are out anyway, because Spain will be on 4. Oh no, they could technically beat Costa Rica like 8-0 or something, and Spain lose.
But Japan, if Japan win, that puts them on 6.
Yeah, but Germany would have 1.
Then they'll put who plays first in that group.
So Japan, Costa Rica is 10 o'clock, and then Spain,
so if
Germany.
Japan win that, then Germany are bang under pressure. They have to win.
Yeah, they have to win to really, because otherwise they'd have.
Spain is going to be. Is going to probably beat Japan.
You think so?
You just never know. Japan could win the group. You always map out at the start, if we win this group, that's how it's going to work. But it never pans out that way. There's always a couple of where did they come from?
Gaz was like in Pedri for Spain. Yeah, thought he was really good.
Very good. But have they got the strength in depth, the quality in depth?
They got a lot of they got a lot of very, very good young players, haven't they? But have they got like the experience as well? Interestingly, Denmark
that could also benefit for you. They could have no fear and just But we'll have to. But it did look good. 7 goals in the World Cup.
Can't fault that, mate.
No.
Denmark are taking steps to leave FIFA, and they're hoping to take other countries with them. So I'm assuming that FIFA are praying that Denmark will go out of this at the group stage. That group looks like really tight because you got France, obviously, got the victory, so they look pretty secure. But then you got Tunisia, Denmark, and Australia.
Who's the others?
Tunisia, who drew with Denmark.
Yeah.
And then Australia. All 3 of those teams are capable of beating each other. So I do think that group outside of France, that second place is up for grabs. Any of those teams could get it. Because I could see Australia winning a couple of games. I could see Denmark winning winning 1. Tunisia, they got a draw against Denmark. They're going to be confident. They play Australia next, Tunisia. So, if Tunisia get a victory against Australia, they're on 4 points. So by the time Denmark play France, they're bang under pressure. It's a thankless thing, mate. Now it's relentless, isn't it? Looking at that Argentina group, mate. I cannot believe. I look at that group and I cannot believe that I'm going to say it, but I could see Argentina going out because
they got next.
They play Mexico next, but Poland play Saudi Arabia earlier in the day. Saudi Arabia get a point out of that. Argentina are bang in trouble because the Saudis will have 4 and Poland will have 2. and Poland play Argentina in the last game, and Saudis play Mexico. It's such a tight group, that one. That I'd quite like to see Saudi Arabia go through, just because they beat. No one expected them to beat
Just
Argentina.
all the mad videos you see.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
You see the one guy take his door off his front room and throw it out. They all started going mad in his front room, and he had one of them metal doors, and he took it off its hinges and went whoosh, and threw it out. And another guy who was like what's one of them guns? Oh, what they called?
Oh, like an AK-47 type job.
Yeah, they that just got outside and yeah. Everyone's going, what?
Yeah, the commentary on it was wild when the second goal went in. Like the commentary.
There's someone doing an interview outside, and the Saudi Arabia fan comes over, grabs the man, and goes, "Where's Messi? Anyone see Messi? Where is Messi?"
Can't fuck that.
It's funny. But the AK-47 was the best. Yeah, watch this. What is going on here?
Nuts, isn't it? Do you know, Matthew's got a good question. He says, I'm going to kind of paraphrase it a little bit. So after this first game, everyone's played one game. Who have you got as your overall winners? And do you have a team that could be an outside bet?
Well, I'm always wary when teams start off shit up.
Yeah.
Because, it's a gradual thing. But we've seen teams play well all the way through. So you've got to look at. I'd be very surprised if, depending if I know what side of the things are on, what side of the groups are on, who gets who.
Mm.
But I'd be surprised if England, Brazil, France, and
Spain, maybe. I don't know how the groups work out.
I don't think Spain will make the last semi-final. I don't think they'll make it. I think they'll get beat.
So, Belgium, Croatia.
No.
I think Switzerland is good outside bet for a semi-finalist.
No.
As not to win it, but just an outside.
Yeah, but not
just a semi.
But, England, Brazil, or France. I can't see past them three.
I think I said to you during the game tonight. I said if Brazil can get their heads straight, I think they'll win it. I think they've got the best squad, but they just in recent history they just cannot get their heads right when the World Cup comes around, and they just go to pieces when they come up against.
They've got the best squad. If you put England's team against that, so centre forward, Harry Kane, Richarlison, Harry Kane. Rafinha, is it on the right?
Yeah.
Saka, you're having him Saka all day long.
No,
on the left, what?
Not having Saka at all, mate. I'd have Anthony over Saka.
Well, there you go. The
depth.
Saka,
that's what I mean.
If you've got Grealish or Foden or Rashford, no, these are just as good, or if not better, players than. All right, the kid from Real Madrid is really, really good. I'm not seeing many people run Kyle Walker to death into the ground, but he was one of them. So to do that and to play for Real Madrid, Champions League winner at a young age, like that, he's a good player. Neymar, yeah.
Their sub keeper is Man City's keeper, which I think tells you a lot about their depth, doesn't it? So, go on. We'll have a quick look at the two squads, and we'll see if we can decipher which squad we'd rather have.
The midfield, Declan Rice, Casemiro. Casemiro is an absolute Rolls Royce. You've seen that today. We've got an absolute player there for the next 3 or 4 years.
All right. So the keepers are Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, and Aaron Ramsdale.
Yeah, the keepers are not even
not
even the same. No, not in the same league. These two Brazilian keepers are way ahead of them.
Yeah, anyone. So you've got Alisson, Edison, and then a Brazilian.
Yeah, they'd be the third choice. One of them England keepers would be the third choice.
Central defenders, you've got Marquinhos, Malacio from Madrid, Thiago Silva, Danilo from Juventus, Alex Telles, Dani Alvarez, Alexandro, and Bremner from Juventus. Then for England, you've got Trent Alexander, got a mistake in him, Connor Cody, Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kieran Trippier, Kyle Walker, and Ben White.
I'm having the two centre halves, Brazil, and I'm having Shaw and
fullbacks, Trippier,
Shaw and Trent.
Yeah, fingers. So you'd have Shaw and Trent, not Shaw and Trippier.
I'd debate that. I'd probably have Trippier, to be honest.
Okay. And then midfield, you've got Bellingham, Conor Gallagher, Jordan Henderson, Mason Mount, Calvin Phillips, and Declan Rice versus...
I'd have Bellingham, Casemiro, and Neymar in that midfield.
Okay. So you wouldn't have Martinelli, or he's plays forward more, doesn't he?
No.
Fred...
No, what
about Fabinho?
They're me three. Casemiro, Neymar, and who's the other one? Bellingham.
Okay. You wouldn't have Fabinho or Fred, anyone like that?
Over who?
I don't know. Just asking the question.
But over who? But I'm throwing that question back. Over who?
Well, it depends. Like, I suppose you got Casemiro as your holder, haven't you? And then you have Bellingham and who was the other one you said? Neymar in midfield.
That's where they play tonight.
Is it? Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll allow it.
That's where they play tonight. Rafinha was on the right. Richarlison's in the middle. Invictus was on the left. Neymar was in the hole behind him.
Okay. Yeah, I'll allow it. Forwards.
That allows that had the two centre midfielders to hold and let them, and obviously support. And then you obviously got the wingers flying up and down.
And do you know what? That works as well because on the bench they've got Fred and Fabinho who can both slot in the holding midfield, or they can, if they need to take one of them off.
It was the kid from West Ham who played.
So then they're forward. So forwards, for Brazil, you got Martinelli, Vinicius Junior,
Harry Kane,
Neymar, Anthony, Rodrigo. I think so.
I agree with you. Kane in that the kid from Real Madrid, and I'm having Phil Foden.
Interesting, because even England don't want to play Phil Foden at the moment. But yeah, I think I would argue that Brazil have got a bit more depth in up front. Like,
But you say that in this England team, the last game, everyone scored. Saka got a goal, Rashford got a goal, Grealish got a goal. Who else scored?
Grealish.
Saka got 2. Rashford, that's 4.
Bellingham scored, didn't he?
5.
One of the other subs score. Was it? It wasn't Wilson, was it? He set up Grealish. No. Mount, was it? I don't know. Why didn't Harry? There you are. There's a question then. Leslie says, how come Harry Kane didn't have one shot on goal versus Iran?
Because he dropped too deep and he had about 3 or 4 assists instead.
Okay.
Well, if you look at his assists, Marcus Rashford, he assists Sterling's goal. So they're goals. They're dropping it, coming in, because he's been able to do that. Can drop in deep and play a pass for his mates to run on in deep. Then, yeah. And
I mean, in fairness, if you remember,
it's quite unusual they scored 6 goals. Now Kane's not got on one, but if you look at it, he's assisted half the goals.
Yeah, and I mean, if you remember a few years back, they were criticised because Harry Kane was taking the corners because he's very good set piece taker. He's very good at crossing the ball in.
Yeah, he don't.
But now they've actually got strikers. They've got other people who can get on the end of it because of the way they play. So I mean, I can see, the argument for both. Look, I think England and Brazil have probably got the best 2 squads on paper in the tournament. And, they got, and rightly so, because they've got the biggest pool to pick from outside of the US, which is obviously different in terms of where they're picking from. And because football is not their sport, is it? So whilst they've got the biggest pool to pick from in terms of size of the country, they haven't got the biggest pool of players, have they? In terms of quality, America, I mean.
No.
But yeah, Brazil, England, interesting. Leslie also says he thinks that Wales are toast tomorrow. Thinks Iran are going to beat us. I don't see that. The worst I see is a draw. I think Wales will have too much for Iran if they turn up and they play the way they're capable of playing. I just think they'll have too much.
He's just probably bitter because Middlesbrough go down. Is that the Middlesbrough fan? That like?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think from a Welsh point of view, I thought Nico Williams was phenomenal in the first game. He was the only player in the first half who was like teamed up for it. And when you find out, that he was obviously grieving, found out his grandfather had passed away less than 24 hours before, just makes his performance even more impressive.
Mate, it's so you say that, but it's so hard for if the ball just keeps coming back and back and back. You have to have someone up to hold it or to occupy the defenders, or it's just going to be attack versus defense. It's quite simple. It's not, but the reaction was fantastic, and that's what you want. If it went through the second half the same, then you question everyone. But the second half was chalk and cheese, and you can't ask much more than that.
So here's the question then: for Wales tomorrow morning, does Kiefer Moore have to start?
Yes. Just to his performance, he's come on, he's changed the game. You look at his previous before he'd come to Wales, he's banging him in for Bournemouth. Yes, because these teams can't they're not used to it. Who in Iran is 6 foot odd, is mobile, can hold it up, he's got a good touch. He's an old number 9, and they're not many about. So
do you think Wales should stick with go back to their former formation where they would play?
I would play Joe Allen. You've got to get him fit. You've got to get.
Well, he's trained as well. He's fully
trained,
fit.
So I would give him at least 45 minutes or 60 minutes if he's doing well at half time. The only way you're going to get him back fit is if you're playing games, or you can do it the other way and just put him on the last 30 minutes. But by then the game might be over, or might be chasing game. There's lots of ways you can use him, but I'm sure they'll come to the right conclusion. They'll know if he's ready, if he's a fit boy, if he can get through games like not playing. All these players are different. A player could be out for 3 months but come back and be fine, where some can struggle and find it hard, so they get the fitness back. Everyone's different, so they'll know the character and they'll assess it from there. But if it was me, I'd play him for the first 60 minutes.
So if you're saying to me that Kiefer Moore's got to play, I would think that Wales will revert back to what their preferred formation, which is Ampadu in defence, Joe Allen as the holding midfielder, with Kiefer Moore up front.
What do you think they'll stick with this three? This three, they won't go for 4-4-4.
No, I think that's what I mean. I think they'll change. So I think they'll play Ampadu and Ben Davies, or they might actually play Ampadu alongside Joe Allen, I suppose, and then they'll play Ramsey, Bale, Daniel James behind.
That's
Moore.
That
suits Daniel James more as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, 4-4-3-3.
So I think basically
2 holding.
Harry Wilson will drop out for Joe Allen, and they'll play 2 holders in Joe Allen and Ampadu, with Ramsey, Bale, and James behind Kiefer Moore. And I think Roden will drop out, and they'll play Meepham alongside Ben Davies as 2 centre backs. Would be my prediction. But I thought actually Ampadu showed why he needs to play as a holding midfielder, because he's got the legs that Joe Allen hasn't got.
I thought he did really well.
He's got the fitness, he's got the aggression, and he can.
I've always liked him when I first seen him play. I thought, he's I like the look of him. Good player. Yeah,
he's a good footballer. Would you change anything from an England point of view against the US, or would you play the same side again? Yeah, I think they got to find room for Foden, Macy.
Yeah, you can assess it. You can whichever way you go. Harry Kane's going to start. think you'll still see him 4-3-3 until you get to the latter stages where you come against the stronger teams. But no, 4-3-3, but I expect probably the same team.
Yeah, I think Saka played so well that they can't really drop him, and he likes Sterling. And
you win, and it's not, if you win and everyone's feeling good, and there's no injuries, you play the same team. You like that continuity, and then play into the next game. If it's the same team and everyone's ready to go, fine. But you'll probably see if they do get to the final, it'll probably be the same team bar 3 or 4 that have got injured or or whatever's happened. And someone's come in and performed and then carried on performing, so they've kept the shirt. That's how it works.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see. Like, obviously, if Harry Kane's been declared fit, but he's carrying an injury, I think if they get a couple of goals,
I've seen that. What happened to him? He's fine, mate. He's fine. It's just precautious, all this stuff. Just the media, mate. It's far too much of it. It's just a little dink to his foot. It's fine. He carried on for 25 minutes.
Yeah,
27 minutes. If it was bad, he would have come off. It's fine. You pick little knocks about football. It's just the media make far too much of it because it's Harry Kane.
I do think if England beat USA comfortably tomorrow, that when they play Wales, they might play Rashford up front, for instance, or Callum
Wilson. Play Wilson. You give him a game. But yeah, it's the smart play to do. It's a smart play. He's had played a lot of games, and then you've got to play 4 games, 4 days. Rest him. You don't need. You'll still win, or you still probably get a good positive result, even though it'll be a hard game against Wales. You're still expected to win. So, but yeah, if they beat USA, I expect to be rested.
Tomorrow's games, mate. We got
That's a chance to play a load of players who've not played, just in case you need them and the match, and they've got a game. Otherwise, they've been sat there for 2 weeks not playing a game, and then you come into like a quarter final and you've not played.
You've got to get people minutes, haven't you?
You've got it's all about. But he's very astute, Gareth Southgate, about tournament football, so he'll probably know better than me what to do.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of their form coming into the tournament, you look at Gareth Southgate's record as England manager in tournament football, you can't knock him. He's done an exceptional job.
Very astute. He studied it, how the best way to be when you're in your way in your camp, and how to be and how to keep the players busy, and how he's brought the press in and all kind of stuff that's made it enjoyable for the players to be around, and then you see that on the pitch how they perform. So, like I say, he's very astute, and yeah, he's got tournament football down to T at the minute. So you just need to go that extra step and win it now. Hopefully not, but
assuming Wales don't win the World Cup, let's just assume. Let's pretend it's not a foregone conclusion. Do you think, do you want England to win the World Cup?
I don't care.
If Wales don't win it, you don't care?
No.
Fair enough. Right. Super 6 for this starts tomorrow. First game up is England versus the US of A. USA. I've gone 3-1 to England. I thought George Weah's son looked really sharp. I thought a good finish as well. I thought he looked a real player. He might get a club out of the summer. Or after the World Cup.
I think they steamroll this USC team, beating like 4 or 5-0.
Okay, fair enough.
I think if they get an early goal, it'd be a long night for USA. But if they hold out, it'll be a bit closer. It'll probably be at 2-0. But I see England winning comfortably.
I said that I thought Iran would set up differently against Wales, like a bit more attacking. Do you think the US set up differently to how they set up against Wales? So they'll be a bit more defensive against England? Because I actually think they're best.
If they set up the way they did against Wales, they will get steamrolled. They'll be defensive and obviously lots of they'll start from the front. They'll defend from the front, but not going gun ho. Strategically, not very daft and going, like I say, gun ho. But I see England steamrolling this team.
Well, the difference which England have got between Wales as well is they've got young, fit, form players in the number 10 and the striking positions, whereas we had Ramsey and Bale, who are older, unfit, haven't played. And I think England will rip that US defence apart. Like, I just was not impressed with their defence at all.
That right back for USA, whatever his name is, he got put early on. Yeah, that Sterling will tear him a new one. Watch tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. But you never know. You never know. Next up, Tunisia versus Australia. I've gone 2-1 to Australia.
Seriously, do you even care?
Come on, you got to do it.
Oh my God,
got to do it. Come on.
Australia 2-1.
Yeah, I got Australia 2-1. Saudi Arabia, Poland.
Saudi Arabia 2-1.
Come on, Saudis.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, we'll all get our. So Leslie just asked a question. He says, if you think England are going to steamroll the US,
I'm not speaking to the Borough fan now. I can piss off.
He says, do you think that means England will steamroll Wales?
Say again.
He said, if you think that England will steamroll through USA, does that mean you think that England will steamroll through Wales?
Yes.
They're capable of it, but it's a very different game, isn't it?
It'd be a lot different because you've got to understand, Leslie. It's Leslie, man in it.
Yeah.
You've got to understand, even though some of them play in the Bundesliga, they're not used to European football. They don't play a lot of European teams, America. When was the last time they played a European team in a competition?
Fair point.
So, where, the Wales team, as we've seen in the Euros, it was a lot tighter because them, people are aware of each other, they play each other every week or every year, so they kind of know each other. Where, yes, they see them on the TV, the American side, or they'll see, but they won't really know them until they won't have really played against them. Where the Wales team have played against them, most of them week in on year out, month out. So that's why it's probably different. But I still expect him to win comfortably. But I don't see him steamrolling, and that's the reason, Leslie.
Here we go. France versus Denmark.
Ooh.
I've gone 2-2, yeah.
No, 1-0 France.
The Argentinians versus Mexico. Will Messi turn up and save the day?
Yeah.
South American.
This will go back to what I've just said there. These played Mexico probably 2 or 3 times, 4 or 5 times in the last 3 or 4 years, and probably beat them comfortably every single time. So I don't see any different.
Okay, and then finally Japan versus Costa Rica.
Japan. 3-0.
I went 4-2, but I'm going to change that to 4-1 because Costa Rica were
3-0 because Costa Rica are poo.
On tomorrow's games, obviously, it'll be Wales-Iran. What's your prediction for the Wales game?
3-1.
And also then we got Senegal versus Qatar. Can Qatar get their first points of the tournament?
No. 2-0. Senegal.
Holland, Ecuador as well. That'd be a good game.
Ecuador 2-1.
Oh, interesting. I thought Ecuador were very good, actually.
That's all.
I thought Ecuador were pretty good.
Yeah, same.
And then we got England versus USA, which we've discussed already at length. It's going to be a fascinating weekend of football, probably with lots of additional time for all the time wasting. And teams will keep wasting time until they get burnt with a 99th minute equaliser or goal. And then suddenly they'll decide, oh, this is probably not a good idea. So, yeah, I'm hoping to do a watch along for the England game on Tuesday. The only problem is my boy has got football, but I'm working on that, and we're going to see if I can work around it.
What time is it? What time?
7 o'clock on Tuesday, I think. I think 7 o'clock Tuesday. So we said we were going to try and do one, didn't we? But I'll have to work on that and see if I can work around it. It might be that I have to sort of join at halftime or something, but we'll see. We'll do something. We'll be back next Thursday anyway, but look out for it on social media because we'll definitely do some watch-alongs through the World Cup, and we'll have a good old chat. I think, in answer to Matthew Angel's question earlier on, he said, who do you think will be a good outside bet to win the World Cup? I think Holland might do something.
No.
I think they've got a good mixture of youth and experience, and they've played a couple of tournaments together. But I think the one thing which stands in their way, because their route to the tournament is quite interesting, because they could end up playing Wales or Iran or USA.
No.
I just think they got Ecuador could be a tricky one for them. I think I was really impressed with Ecuador.
Holland have got no chance.
They got quite. Where did they get in the Euros, mate?
Outside bet. Denmark or Spain?
No, Denmark are going out, mate. In the group stage.
Or Spain.
Where didn't Netherlands get to like the semi-finals of the Euros or something in the last tournament?
Netherlands have never won a major competition.
No, I know that, but didn't they get through to the? No, they went out in the groups,
they went out in the groups
in the quarters to Czech Republic.
There you go. Yeah, they're not strong enough. Not strong enough for me.
Not strong enough mentally, I don't think.
No, not strong enough quality-wise up front when it gets to the better teams.
They got up front.
They've got a kid who Tottenham just got rid of, who's gone back to Holland. Who else? That
Gakpo, who's like a winger but is playing up front.
Yeah,
and Depay, I suppose, is the other one. Is he?
He was on the bench. They're not good enough. No chance. Absolute no chance.
Denmark. I wouldn't rule out Portugal, mate, either. I got to say.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't
just
either.
Because Ronaldo. Yeah. But I think the difference between Argentina and Portugal is Portugal aren't just relying on Ronaldo. They've got a lot of quality around him. I know he is who he is, but they've got quality around him as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Portugal up and around the semi-finals. We will see, mate. We will see.
Right, is that it?
Last one. Goal of the tournament. What's the goal of the tournament so far? Would have been Gareth Bale's halfway line in the 90th minute until he was sized down by his teammate. By his mate as well. Brutal. Richarlison's tonight was pretty good.
Yeah. Really good touch. Well, okay touch, but made it into a great touch by the over kick. Very good.
Was it the Saudis' second goal, top corner, to go 2-1?
Yeah, that was a good goal too. That was a good goal.
Pretty special.
Saka's volley was a good goal. Marcus Rashford's was a good goal. Some French goals. There was good goals. There's been
the Spanish first goal
because usually the first games
they take a while, don't they?
Yeah, but no, this is because they've just come back. They've not been had a rest. They've come straight from the season, so they're all ready to go. So yeah, it's good.
Spanish first goal was a great finish. I like that as well. Right, we'll be back next Thursday. Keep an eye on social media. We'll let you know when we're going to do watch-alongs. Nice one, mate. Appreciate it. See you soon. No star.